Ladies and gentlemen, we are live in the UFC division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, Habib, the Eagle, Nurmagomedov. UFC 294. Solid card. Solid card indeed. Lot of cancellations, especially at the top of the card, but it's a good card. It is a very, very good card in my opinion. We got some Javid Basharat's way too big of a favorite. Some of these odds have flipped a little bit. Makhachev's way too big of a favorite. There's a lot of big favorites on this card that if you parlay up, you could get some upsets on there. So I would be weary about parlaying for UFC 294. It's very, very risky. Oh my God. Let me put the thumbnail in. God dang. Alrighty, then we're going to get this thumbnail in and then begin with UFC 294 full card prediction. We'll do confident picks. I think we'll do MMA news after that. And then a little bit of a Q&A, questions and answers, whatever you guys want to talk about. And then we'll edit all that stuff up and get it posted. Alright, let's check the comments before I begin. Let's see. All right. Let's begin with UFC 294 full card prediction. Let's get into it in 3, 2, 1. UFC 294 Makhachev versus Volkanovski 2. This is the rematch. We know all the shenanigans, all the craziness going by with the Brazilians pulling out of the card, Oliveira going hard sparring like a week before, 2 weeks before, gets cut right on the eye. I mean, I think it might have been an elbow. They didn't really confirm, but I mean, is the glove going to be doing that big of a cut to Charles Oliveira? I don't think so. I think one of his training partners threw a spinning elbow, because those Brazilians at his gym throw a lot of those crazy techniques and cut Charles Oliveira. He's out. Volkanovski's in. We know the deal with Paulo Costa. I think he had like some sort of staph infection. Maybe even more than that. I don't think it's just a staph infection. I think it's multiple things, if not something that we don't even know about that Paulo Costa has in his elbow. But he has a nasty looking elbow. I was looking at some pictures earlier today. We're going to show them. This video might get demonetized, but it's a bad little photo here. Get ready. Okay, that's all we're going to show about that. Paulo Costa's injury is legit. Men would not be able to fight, but Kamaru Usman steps in on short notice up a weight class. Still a really good card. A lot of people were like, oh my God, UFC 294, it's ruined. No, we don't have Oliveira versus Islam. Guys, Islam pretty much dominated Oliveira in the last fight. The Volkanovski was like a split decision type of a fight. I know it was unanimous, but it was a split decision type of a fight. It's a much better fight, in my opinion. Islam versus Charles, I mean, we were hyped for it. Every Charles Oliveira fight, we get hyped for, but this is a much more competitive fight, in my opinion. Khamzat Chimaev, Kamaru Usman, this is the fight I've been wanting for a while in the UFC's welterweight division. Paulo Costa, I mean, he's decent, he's good, but I think this is the far more intriguing matchup between Khamzat Chimaev and Kamaru Usman. And I actually believe if Kamaru Usman were to move up to middleweight permanently and fight Paulo Costa, I think he would beat Paulo Costa in a very close decision. So that should be a good one with Khamzat. Not to mention, we have another fight that could main event a UFC fight. Now I'm talking Johnny Walker taking on Magomed Ankalaev. That's easily a fight night main event. We got an easily co-main event type of a fight. Ikram Aliskerov taking on Warlley Alves. I know. Originally, it was supposed to be Imavov versus Aliskerov, which definitely could have been a co-main event. But, yeah, Nasruddin pulled out, so we got a welterweight. in Warley Alves, who just got knocked out by Jeremiah Wells. Lost the decision. These are welterweights he's losing to, and he's gonna move up to middleweight on short notice. He has one win over a current two wins. Colby Covington as well, but one recent win over an actual UFC fighter, and yeah, I don't know. I respect the courage of Warley Alves stepping up on short notice, up a weight class, pretty much doing the same thing as Kamaru Usman, but a little bit of a preview for the prediction later. It's not going to go well, Warley. It's not going to go well, bud. Said Nurmagomedov, Muin Gafurov. I don't know why that's on the main card instead of Muhammad Mokaev, Tim Elliott. I would even put Javid Basharat, Victor Henry on the main card instead. Those are both bantamweight fights. I don't know why Javid Basharat's not on there. I don't know why Tim Elliott, Muhammad Mokaev isn't on there. But it's a good fight nonetheless. Both guys, I believe, coming off losses. Said losing to Jonathan Martinez, who we have been seeing doing very, very good, is now the number 11 bantamweight in the world. And Muin's just not that good, man. He's 0-1 in the UFC, lost in the Contender Series to Chad and Helliger. He's not really UFC caliber, in my opinion, and it's a good fight, though. Muhammad Mokaev, Tim Elliott is the feature prelim. That's a very good one. Prospect versus the former title challenger and veteran. Always good to see in the flyweight division. We have a banger, Trevor Peek versus Muhammad Yahya. Any fight with Trevor Peek, it doesn't matter if he's fighting me, if he's fighting Francis Ngannou. It doesn't matter who Trevor Peek is fighting. It doesn't matter. I know I don't do good impressions, but doing The Rock Johnson, it doesn't matter who Trevor Peek is going to be fighting, because it's going to be a good fight no matter what. The freaking, what is he, the guy from Minecraft, the Steve guy from Minecraft, he pretty much has the exact same head as that dude. He always puts on entertaining fights, and we go below that. I don't know how Javid is below Trevor Peek, but he is 14-0, undefeated Afghanistan prospect, taking on a long-time MMA veteran who has beaten a lot of good guys. Tony Gravely, Rayoni Barcelos, a lot of guys in the regional scene that not a lot of people know about, but he's beaten really good guys in the regional scene as well. Kyler Phillips, he was the first person to beat him. He beat Denis Lavrentiev. What was the other guy? There's one guy earlier in his career, I'm trying to remember. But he's been around the game for a very, very, very long time, fighting the who's who over there in Pancrase and Ryzen and things like that. He's very, very legit. And for the odds to have Javid as a 6-1 favorite on a guy like Victor Henry, whose only loss is against Rafael Assunção. Rafael, I know you guys are going to say Rafael's not that good. The dude beat Marlon Moraes. The dude beat Rob Font. He beat Aljamain Sterling, Pedro Munoz, TJ Dillashaw. This is the only guy to beat Victor Henry in the UFC. This is a good high-level bantamweight fight. We have a little bit of a lower-level fight here. Cedricus Dumas taking on Abu Azaitar. Pretty low-level middleweight stuff, but Dumas is improving every single fight, so maybe it'll be a decent one. Mike Breeding on Anshul Jubli, not even the only guy now, only guy Indian inside of the UFC. There's now a female Indian that just got signed to the UFC, but he's undefeated, he's Indian. Literally, he could fight the worst fighter on the UFC roster, which, that's pretty close in terms of Mike Breeding there. Win that fight, and boom. The UFC has a star on their hands, because India is an absolutely huge country with so many people. Anshul Jubli, it doesn't matter who they feed him to. It doesn't matter who he fights next. They could just keep on giving him bum after bum after bum after bum. There's going to get a huge market for Indian people to watch the UFC just for Anshul Jubli, and they're going to make a lot of Indian MMA fans. It's a huge thing for the world of mixed martial arts, because India is an absolutely massive country. We got Nathaniel Wood, Muhammad Naimov, winner of that one. I have to say, is going to be inside of the top 15 after that, if not just fighting someone inside of the top 15 after that, because, man, went in there on short notice and beat Jamie Malarkey, a UFC lightweight that went out, and before that, Francisco Prado, undefeated, unanimous decision win. Beat Michael Johnson by a split decision. Knocked out Devontae Smith, knocked out Kama, where the only loss to really legit guys. Jalen Turner, Fares Siam, Brad Wright. These are legit guys in the UFC lightweight division. 2 of them have been ranked in the UFC lightweight division. Then he goes out there and gets boom knocked out badly by Muhammad Naimov, short notice, and a guy coming up a freaking weight class. Jamie Malarkey is currently number 40 on the UFC lightweight rankings. Naimov went out there and destroyed him in round number 2, and now he's taking on the number 17 featherweight in Nathaniel Wood right here, who's beat Charles Rosa, Charles Jordan, and Andre Fili. Did lose to Casey Kennan, but where the hell is Casey Kenny? He is gone. And he also beat John Castaneda. Both guys right outside of that top 15. Winner, maybe versus Dan Ige, maybe versus one of those guys right at the end of the rankings. It's a very good fight. I mean, it's the 3rd fight of the night, and we have guys that are cracking on the door of the top 15. We got another kind of like Tim Elliott versus Mohamed Makhachev, but the veteran is a lot more low level in terms of Jin Yu Frey taking on the up-and-comer, the prospect, the future top 15, Victoria Dudakova. Should be a good one. Sharupuddin Magomedov and Bruno Silva taking on the first place of the card. Very good fight. So, I mean, again, a lot of people, I know I went out there and talked about this card for a very long time. You could have skipped through it and just gone to the predictions, but I had to get it off my chest on what I think about a lot of these matchups, because this is a stacked UFC pay-per-view. The main event is amazing. The co-main is amazing. Main event right there. So many prospects, so many undefeated fighters, so many future champs and contenders and title challengers. I mean, I love this card. Let's start from the bottom with the middleweights. Bruno Silva, Sharupuddin Magomedov in the middleweight division. Let's take a little bit of a look on what the live odds are for this fight. Minus 250 for Sharupuddin Magomedov. The betting odds started having him at minus 300, went out to minus 200, and now he is at minus 250. So people are very, very high on Sharupuddin Magomedov. Only 29 years old. He's 11-0. He is undefeated. He's coming off an 8-second knockout win. Only one win coming by decision with 10 KO TKO wins. He has a win over Israel Adesanya's training partner, Mike Matheta, which is a solid one. And obviously, I mean, he looks Russian. I believe he's a Dagestan. He's from Moscow, Russia. You would think, looking at this type of a guy, looking at the beard, looking at where he's from, looking at the name, that he's going to go out there and take you down. The dude is not a wrestler, not a grappler. In fact, the fights that he's losing, he's never lost, but the fights that he has trouble with is when he is faced with wrestlers and grapplers and guys that are looking to impose their will on the ground, which means a fight with Bruno Silva is actually stylistically very, very good. Because, yes, Bruno Silva is very, very powerful. Could go out there and one-punch knock out Sharupuddin Magomedov. At any moment, he doesn't have the technique of Sharupuddin, and he also has the same problem of, in the fight with Wellington Turman, in the fight with Andrew Sanchez, in the fight with Gerald Mearshart and Brendan Allen. These are all fights where he's doing very good on the feet, and then he gets put with some resistance in terms of the wrestling and grappling, and the fight gets made a lot tougher for him. So both guys are not really wrestlers and grapplers. This is going to be a striking match between these two finishers. Again, 3 decision wins, 1 decision loss for Bruno Silva, and only 1 decision win for Sharupuddin Magomedov. This is not going all the way. I mean, it's possible. Alex Pereira could not finish Bruno Silva, so it is possible. But Gerald Mearshart, the fight after that, was able to rock him. Brendan Allen was able to rock him a little bit. Brad Tavares was able to hurt him just a little bit in that fight. I do believe Sharupuddin Magomedov is going to find that mark, not in round number 1, but in round number 2. This is a very exciting fight to start the card up. I think he's going to kick at range on Bruno Silva, get him frustrated a little bit with the kicks at range, the head kicks, the front kicks, the leg kicks, all of that type of stuff. Get Bruno Silva frustrated, get him to walk right into a counter. Sharupuddin Magomedov, round number 2, TKO. Let's see. What is the over-under on this one? That is something I'm very curious about. Over 1.5 is 50-50. So right around where I do believe the fight is going to be finished. Victoria Dudakova and Jinyu Frey in the women's strawweight division. A lot younger, a little bit taller, a little bit lengthier is Victoria Dudakova. She is 7-0. Jinyu Frey is, she was doing good to start her UFC career. Not exactly right at the start. Lost to Kay Hansen, lost to Loma Lubumi, but came back with a vengeance. Beat Gloria De Paula by unanimous decision, and Ashley Yoder by unanimous decision. But now she's looking at win or go home. And by go home, to the Invicta, to the PFL, to the B-Leagues at that point. I mean, she lost to Vanessa Demopoulos, got starched by Polyana Viana, lost to Elise Reed, who is, she's like she's lose one, win one, lose one, win one, lose one, win one, lose one, win one. She's one of those type of fighters in the women's strawweight division. So if she loses this one to Victoria Dudakova, who I believe is a harder fight than Vanessa, than Polyana, than Elise Reed, I think she goes straight to the PFL, straight to the Invicta FCs and all that type of stuff. And sadly for her, I mean, this is a not so good matchup for her. We saw earlier in her career in the Kay Hansen fight where, I mean, she was getting takedowns of her own, but then got caught with a submission. We've seen her get taken down by Elise Reed, by Vanessa Demopoulos. She gets taken down in a lot of fights, but she also takes down her opponents in a lot of those fights as well. Victoria, she's not taken down. Victoria Dudakova, I do believe this is going to be a ground and pound TKO. I know there's a lot of rear nakeds on the record of Victoria Dudakova and one decision there against Maria Silva there, but I do believe she's going to go out there, get Jinyu Frey down in round number 1, relatively easy, 30 seconds in, 40 seconds in, she'll get that takedown, ground and pounder, try to work for that submission. She's going to find that Jinyu Frey is good at staying away from those submissions, she really is, and then she's going to realize, I just need to get her in one of those compromising positions. I'm not going to full-on TKO or knock her out unconscious, and she's defending the submissions well. I can get her right here on the cage and just keep on punching until the ref stops it. I do believe it is going to be a little bit later. End of round number 2, beginning of round number 3. I think Victoria Dudakova gets another finish. The last one was a little bit weird with the dislocated elbow, but I do believe the outcome to that fight still would have been the same. Round 1 TKO. This one, I think it goes a little bit later. Round 2 or round 3 for Victoria Dudakova. Betting odds have Victoria at 5-1 on those betting odds. Over 1.5. They think this fight is going to the decision. So Dudakova by finish plus 155. That is my prediction. Next fight. Let's go to the next fight. In the featherweight division, Nathaniel Wood and Mohamed Naimov in the featherweight division. A little bit taller, a little bit lengthier is the Mohamed Naimov, who was on a 4-fight win streak. Lost 2 in a row before that, but came out arm triangle choke. Decision win over Satik Mudoyev. Dylan Schultz went out there and knocked him out. That was a very impressive win. Joined the UFC and starched a lightweight, top 40 in the world lightweight. Lightweight is one of the hardest weight classes in the UFC, and he went out there and made it look pretty easy. Knocked him out in round number 2. He's very young, 29, taller and lengthier than Nathaniel Wood, but technique-wise, he's not there. Technique-wise, he's not there. Even in round number 1, I think Mohamed Naimov slightly lost round number 1, was getting kicked, was getting jabbed at range, just getting hit with more volume from Jamie Malarkey, getting picked apart at range, and then he found his range in round number 2 and was able to knock him out. I don't think he's going to be able to find that range against Nathaniel Wood right here. I think this is going to be a 3-round close back and forth featherweight scrap, and it's going to be a striking match. If there is any wrestling here, I think it will come from Mohamed Naimov in round 2, round 3, if he's feeling a little bit frustrated from the leg kicks of Nathaniel Wood, the jab, the 1-2s, the movement of Nathaniel Wood, because he is such a good striker. That is where I do see some wrestling being accounted for. But in round 1, Nathaniel Wood wins, just using his speed, using his volume, staying at range. Round 2, I think he does the same thing. Mohamed Naimov comes back with a little bit of a vengeance in round number 3. Maybe out edges him a little bit there. I'm going to go Nathaniel Wood, 29-28. Decision, and that will be the fourth unanimous decision win for Nathaniel Wood. The man needs to go out there and get a finish, but Muhammad Naimov doesn't seem like the opponent to do so. Next one. Anshul Jubilee and Mike Breeden. Yeah. Mike, I don't know why he's still in the UFC. He lost two. Let's see. Alexander Hernandez. I believe that one was on short notice, so we'll give him a little bit of a pass. Lost to Natan Levy. I mean, he actually looked pretty decent in the Natan Levy fight. I believe won one of those rounds and made it a very, very close fight. And then he went out there and got starched by Terrence McKinney, which I also believe was on short notice. I could be wrong. That might not have been on short notice. He is older. He is a little bit less in terms of the height there and a little bit more in terms of the reach. But you already know this is a setup fight. The Terrence McKinney fight, they're trying to get another highlight for Terrence. Alexander Hernandez, that was a short notice one for Hernandez to get another good finish. Natan Levy was another win to just build him back up. For Anshul Jubilee, he's an Indian. He's the only Indian male inside of the UFC. It's very obvious they want him to get another finish here. He's not really like a prolific finisher. He started off with 3 decisions in a row, got 1 knockout, decision, finish, decision, finish. Maybe he gets a decision here, but they're trying to get him a guy that leaves his chin out there a little bit too much and could very well go out and get knocked out by a guy like Anshul Jubilee in this fight. Anshul Jubilee is improving a lot every single fight. So, I mean, he's very young in his career. He's only 28 years old. And it's been 8 months since his last fight. I do believe we're going to see a new Anshul Jubilee. I don't think we're going to see the same one that we saw last fight, because 8 months is a lot of time for Anshul Jubilee to improve. The striking looked pretty okay. His wrestling pretty okay. Everything looked pretty okay. It wasn't like a flying color type of thing for Anshul Jubilee in any facet of the game, but I think he's going to improve a lot here. He's going to realize Mike Breeden doesn't really have that good of a chin. He's going to focus on the striking, focus on the movement, and focus on getting inside on Mike Breeden and getting that knockout. A lot of these fighters, they can't really watch film on for Anshul Jubilee. I watched film on Anshul Jubilee, but it's been 8 months. And for a rising up-and-comer, 28 years old, there's going to be a lot of improvements made for Anshul Jubilee. And I've been watching interviews from him. He's saying he's improving his craft. His wrestling looks a lot better. His grappling looks a lot better. So depending on what the game plan is, he could go out there with a wrestling game plan. Look to get the back, submit Mike Breeden. I don't know. I do believe he's going to go out there and strike with him, though, and wrestle if he needs to. I don't think wrestling is going to be the main game plan here. I think he's going to go out there, make it a little bit ugly, try to get to the inside of Mike Breeden, look for those hooks on the inside, and try to knock him out. I do believe he will be successful. Anshul Jubilee, the first Indian in the UFC by knockout. Let's go round number 2. We're going to have to pull up some UFC stats for that last fight. Where is Abu? How old is Abu? He's pretty old, right? Let's go to Cedricas Domas. I still can't believe he lost to Josh Fremd, out of all people. But yeah, the Cody Brundage one, I believe he was the one. He was the one like reversing positions on that one. Had 2 reversals in that fight and was able to do some good work. 11 minutes of control time is crazy, and he barely landed any significant strikes. That is horrible. What about regular strikes? Yeah, a lot of little tippy taps on the ground. A lot of little tippy taps. But yeah, his opponent, Abu Azaitar, man, has not fought in a while. Beat Vitor Miranda in 2018, then fought Marc-Andre Barriault. Didn't look horrible. I mean, I'm going to be honest. He did not look like absolutely horrible. Round 1, he was able to take down Marc-Andre Barriault, beat him on the ground and looked pretty good. Lost round 2. Freaking got destroyed in round number 3. His cardio is really not that good. Cedricas Dumas is iffy cardio as well. So let's get into it. Cedricas Dumas and Abu Azaitar in the middleweight division. I mean, I was talking about it earlier. Abu is 37 years old. He's had, 2 fights in the UFC. Vitor Miranda 5 years ago, and Marc-Andre Barriault 2.5 years ago. He's not as tall, not as lengthy, pretty old, pretty slow, not as good of a striker as Cedricas Dumas. Cedricas could very well go out there and just crack that chin of Abu Azaitar. But again, I don't know what the chin of Abu Azaitar looks like, because the man does not fight. The man fights every 2.5 years for no reason. I I don't understand, Abu. What are you doing, brother? But yes, Cedric Dumas could very well go out there, knock him out on the feet. But it's risky to go for those big shots because Abu is a very good wrestler, very good on the ground with the control time and ground and pound and things like that. But his cardio is a little bit iffy. And I do believe round number 1, he's going to rock Abu Azaitar a little bit. Abu's going to shoot some takedowns. And we know what he did on the Contender Series with that guillotine choke submission. I'm going to go round number 2. I think round 1, he's going to hurt him a little bit. He's going to shoot those takedowns and know that the guillotine is coming. But I think round number 2, Abu's just going to get really, really, really tired. Walk right into a guillotine. Or walk into that guillotine a little bit. Cedric reverses the position, ground and freaking pound on the gassed Abu Azaitar. I'm going to go Cedric Dumas in round number 1, either with the guillotine after he hurts Abu and he shoots in for the takedown, or shoots in, he reverses the position. He was reversing a lot of positions in the last fight with Cody Brundage, reverses and then ground and pounds the heck out of him. Either one of those two, I got round 2 finish. Next one. Javid Basharat and Victor Henry in the bantamweight division. This isn't one I'm super confident about, but I do believe Javid is better everywhere. I do believe kicking-wise, punching-wise, age-wise, height-wise, reach-wise, wrestling-wise, jiu-jitsu-wise, I think Javid Basharat has the edge wherever the fight goes. If it's in the clinch, I think Javid Basharat will have the advantage there. I think on the ground and in the grappling scrambles, it's pretty close, but I think Javid slightly edges them out ever so slightly. On the feet, I think he's slightly better as well. Throws a little bit more volume, has a little bit of more of a dynamic striking than Victor Henry does as well. Just has a lot more tools to work with than Victor Henry. He's a lot younger, he's taller, he's lengthier, like I already said. This one's going to come down to, can Javid do what he's doing, what he's better at? He's better everywhere, in my opinion. Can he continue to do what he's better than Victor Henry throughout the entire 3 rounds without Victor Henry having any of those big moments? Javid is a huge favorite, 5-1, 6-1. It's a close fight still. Again, I didn't say Javid is a lot better than Victor Henry everywhere. He's slightly better everywhere than Victor Henry in this fight. If Victor Henry can just have a few of those moments, he doesn't necessarily have to be the better fighter, but if he can have a few moments where he lands a big, good shot, lands a good kick to the head, lands an uppercut, gets a takedown on Javid Basharat when Javid wasn't ready for it, lands a good overhand right on Javid, rocks him, stumbles him a little bit, just so those key moments could be the key for Victor Henry to win. If Javid plays it safe, has good defense, good takedown defense, and plays the fight where he wants the fight to be, doesn't get hit with any of those big moments from Victor Henry, he wins this all day. 30-27, wins every single round, in my opinion. It's a very close fight, 6-1, 7-1. I've been seeing some of these odds going crazy for Javid Basharat. Minus 625 is insane, in my opinion. But I do have him by a unanimous decision. Javid Basharat, 95% is crazy. That is insane, guys. But Javid, I do have him winning this fight. My unanimous decision. Trevor Peek and Mohamed Yahya in the lightweight division. Mohamed Yahya 12-3 on a little bit of a good streak there. Beating some good guys over there in UAE Warriors. A lot of them decision wins. He's not necessarily a finisher. A few knockout wins, but most recent finish was in the main event of a UFC UAE Warriors card against Moha Jagdal, who just is not really that good of a guy. 7-5 right there, was able to arm triangle him in the final rounds. I don't think he's UFC caliber. They brought him in the UFC because he's from the Middle East and was fighting on a lot of those UAE Warriors card, but I think he's gonna wilt on under that pressure. He's gonna stay at range, try to jab him, try to 1-2 him, use his 3-inch reach advantage on the feet, try to wrestle, try to grapple with Trevor Peek. Trevor's gonna stuff a lot of those takedowns, and he's just gonna keep coming. Maybe Muhammad wins round 1. Maybe he gets a takedown. Maybe he keeps that range, stays away from those shots. But round 2, round 3, Trevor Peek is gonna go crazy. It's peak time, baby. I do believe. I think he's going to finish him. He's been finishing every one of his losses. Hassan Talal was able to knock him out right there. Gavin Hughes able to submit him. Dan Collins able to darce him. I do believe he's going to hurt him on the feet. Muhammad's going to shoot a takedown. end up on his back. We're going to get ground and pound Trevor. Trevor Peek, round 2, round number 3, ground and pound. TKO to the game. All right, next one in the fly. EBT MMA is lurking hide. Yo, kids, what? Gil and Gape Pickham's family. I don't know what that means. Bert, what is up, Joe T? Long time no see. Bart. Next one in the flyweight division. Tim Elliott and Mohamed Makhachev in the flyweight division. Now, first thing is first. Tim Elliott is coming off a win over Tagir Ulanbekov and Victor Altamirano. I know he lost to Mateusz Nicolau, got outstruck in that fight a little bit, and just wasn't able to do enough on the ground in a few of those moments. That was a very, very close fight that he could have won. But this fight right here with Mohamed Makhachev, guys, is a 50-50. It's a 50-50, ladies and gentlemen. If Tim Elliott is able to go out there and get takedowns on Tagir Ulanbekov, have control time on Tagir Ulanbekov, laying ground and pound on Tagir Ulanbekov, a guy that trains with Khabib Nurmagomedov and things like that. I mean, he landed 3 takedowns on him. He was able to stuff a lot of the takedowns of Tagir Ulanbekov. There's no saying that Mohamed Makhachev just is not able to land the takedowns here. And on in terms of the striking, if we're looking on, I'm forgetting where the stats were. For just on distance, the striking with Tagir Ulanbekov was 50-50. Every round. Round 3, same amount of strikes. Round 2, Tim Elliott had the edge. And round number 1, it was pretty much the same amount of strikes at distance. It's a very close fight, guys. It's a very, very close fight. Tim Elliott is very good with his leg kicks, very good with his body shots at range, staying active at range, staying active in the clinch, staying active on the ground with ground and pound. If Mohamed Makhachev is underestimating Tim Elliott, he could very well lose a split decision. Very well lose a very, very close fight here. Again, anyone that's parlaying Mohamed Makhachev, you should probably slap yourself in the face. He might win. But should you be parlaying him at minus 500? No. What are you doing? Tim Elliott is such a live underdog here. And there was moments when I was doing film, watching the Tagir Ulanbekov fight, watching Mohamed Makhachev struggle in a few moments with Malcolm Gordon, struggle in a few of those moments with Jafel Filio, that I was like, Tim Elliott's gonna get this done. He's gonna win one of those rounds with a submission attempt on Makhachev. You know the UFC judges love their fight-ending sequences. A submission attempt counts towards the judging criteria. He's very active on the feet, very active on the ground and pound. We could very well win this one. But I think Makhachev will find a way to get those takedowns, get the control time. I know control time doesn't matter, but I think he's going to get it. Ground and pound him. They're going to land a similar amount of strikes. But Makhachev is going to be in more dominant position. They're going to land a similar amount. I think Makhachev wins 2 out of 3 rounds en route to a split decision here. Split decision. That's how close I think this fight is. That is how close I think this fight is. Tim Elliott, Mohamed Makhachev, flip a coin, ladies and gentlemen. Do not, I repeat, do not parlay Mohamed Makhachev. Don't do it. Do not do it. And we go on to the main card. Said Nurmagomedov and Muin Gafarov in the bantamweight division. Muin just lost to John Castaneda not even that long ago. Let's be honest. This was 2 months ago, maybe. Lost to John Castaneda, was outstriking John on the feet, that's impressive. Very, very impressive things to do. He was able to go out there. He did get knocked down in round number 1, which is one of the reasons he was able to lose this fight, because he got rocked badly in round number 1. But round 2 was able to outstrike him and even get some control time of his own. Round number 3 he was able to outstrike him, but he was taken down a lot in round number 3 as well. So, Said Nurmagomedov, he's not really a Nurmagomedov type of a guy. He's not going out there just to smash you, brother. I take you down, I smash you. He's not one of those type of guys. In fact, he was getting taken down a lot in his second to last fight with Sadyokub Kakramanov. And the fight after that, he wasn't able to get a whole lot of control against Jonathan Martinez. 4 minutes is a solid amount. Some submission attempts, some takedowns, some ground and pound and things like that. But it wasn't a whole lot. I mean, there was 4 ground and pound shots landed. A lot of them were in the clinch, and that was a lot of his control. And Jonathan Martinez was able to have some of those clinch situations. So I don't necessarily believe that Saeed's just going to go out there and win in the clinch, win on the ground, and make it one of those type of fights that you would expect under Magomedov to make it. I actually think this is going to be mainly a striking match with Saeed Nurmagomedov and Muin Gafurov. And I think there's going to be moments, not a whole lot of time, but some moments where Saeed's just going to get the control, get him onto the cage, land a few shots to the body, attempt a few takedowns, attempt a few submissions, not really get close to anything meaningful. But those are going to have an effect on the judges' scorecards. A little bit of ground and pound here, a little submission attempt here, a few little tipper taps in the clinch. That is going to have a little bit of an effect when it does come to the judges' scorecards. And striking wise at range, Saeed's just a little bit more dynamic. Muin, he kicks every now and then. He's not the best kicker. Saeed definitely has the advantage when it comes to the kicking game. And I think Saeed's just going to stay at range, jab 1-2, stay on the outside, kick him on the outside, and overall, if it is a 3-round striking match, I do believe he wins, but I can't help but believe that he's going to mix in some clinching, some wrestling, some grappling here. To close one, 31 versus 27, that's probably the reason Muin's in the UFC. He's from Tajikistan. They're really trying to build their fan base, because right now they only really have Nurullo Aliyev in the lightweight division and Muin Gafurov. That's pretty much it. But I got Saeed Nurmagomedov winning this one by unanimous decision. Ikram Aliskerov taking on Warlley Alves. I said in the intro of the full card prediction video, smash, brother. Smash these guys, brother. It's short notice. Warlley is coming off 2 losses by knockout to Jeremiah Wells, and then a close one. I mean, relatively close fight to Nicholas Dalby, but in my opinion, a clear win for Nicholas Dalby. He's going to get destroyed here, guys. He's going to get destroyed, in my opinion. He took it on short notice. He's not as tall. He's not as lengthy. He's not as big. He's not as young. He doesn't have the power of Ikram Aliskerov. He doesn't have the chin of Ikram Aliskerov. And I do believe it's going to stay on the feet. Ikram wants another knockout like the one he had against Phil Hawes. He wants another highlight for the reels. He's not going to go out there and just try to take down and try to submit Warlley Alves. We know Warlley Alves is good on the ground. We know Warlley's good on the ground. Was able to go out there and submit Colby Covington, submit Nordin Taleb, Marcio Alexandre Jr. A lot of guillotines on the record. It's very risky to go out there and try to take down a guy like Warlley Alves when he's so dangerous on the ground. So I think he's going to go out there, strike with Warlley Alves for a little bit, maybe fake a few takedowns, get him up high, knockout. Round number 1 or round number 2 for Ikram Aliskerov. Magomed Ankalaev, Johnny Walker in the light heavyweight division. Johnny has been looking really good since his 2 losses to title challenger Thiago Santos, who, let's be honest, I rewatched that fight, and even live when I was watching that fight, I thought he did enough to win. I'm going to be honest. I thought Johnny Walker beat Thiago Santos there. Then he fought the current champ, Jamal Hill. Ended up getting starched by him. But since then, he's been looking really, really good. Submitted Iwan Cutelao. I was looking at the Paul Craig one. Knocked out Paul Craig in round number 1. And then outstruck Anthony Smith in that fight on UFC on ABC4 to win the unanimous decision. These are all very, very legit wins. He showed some good grappling against Iwan Cutelaba, some good takedown defense against Paul Craig, and some good striking and some good control, not just going out there for the round 1 knockout like he did against Misha, Justin Ledeck, Khalil Roundtree, Corey Anderson, all of that type of stuff. He's showing improvements fight by fight, but I can't help but remember the Nikita Krylov fight. I can't help but remember that he got taken down. He got controlled. Iwan Cutelaba, I believe, had him I think he took down Johnny Walker for a second there. Then he reversed the position. But if Iwan's able to do it, if Nikita Krylov is able to do it, Magomed Ankalaev is most definitely going to be able to do it. And Magomed's no slouch on the feet either. A lot of people like to be like, Magomed Ankalaev, he's going to go out there and wrestle. He's going to go out there and grapple. Yes, he will when he has to, like Jan Blachowicz fight, where his legs were compromised and he had to take that fight down, where he compromised the legs of Anthony Smith, wanted to take him down and just batter him on the floor. He mixes in wrestling to a lot of his fights, but if he needs to go out there and just strike with you, he very well could. But that's not the smart game plan. You don't want to go out there and just strike with Johnny Walker. He's so dangerous at any moment in time to land a big, crazy shot. You don't want to do that. So I think Magomed's going to play it safe. He's going to stay even on the feet. Let Johnny Walker open up with something big while he's doing so. Protect himself at all times. Get the takedown. Control time. Ground and pound. A little bit of a boring fight here and there. Johnny's going to make it exciting when the fight is on the feet. Stay on the feet for at least a minute, 2 minutes of every round. And then Ankalaev is going to land those takedowns, man. Johnny Walker is very, very live, though. If he does go out there with a leg kicking strategy, we saw weakness from the leg kicks in the Jan Blachowicz fight. So if Johnny's able to stay at range, use that 6'6" height, use that 82-inch reach advantage, jab, 1-2, leg kick, leg kick, leg kick, leg kick, really wear on the movement of Magomed Ankalaev, it's going to be a lot harder for Ankalaev to move into those takedowns and land them. So if Johnny, that would be my game plan for Johnny. Stay at range, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Leg kick, leg kick, leg kick. Fast, snapping, hard leg kicks. Land the kick, get right back out. Circle, 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 move. Stay away from those takedowns. Again, 3-1, 4-1 for Ankalaev is crazy because Johnny has a clear path to victory right here with the leg kicks, staying in range, moving. And also that one punch, that one knee, that one elbow, that one kick. There's always a chance for that upset from Johnny Walker. A lot of big favorites on this card. Do not parlay anyone. For the love of God, please don't parlay. This card is not one of those parlaying cards. Next fight, co-main event, but in the middleweight division, Khamzat Chimaev taking on Kamaru, the Nigerian Nightmare Usman. In the middleweight division on short notice, betting odds are a little bit, okay, they were a little bit closer. They started at -300, made their way up to like -230. That's why I was saying they were closer, but I guess they went right back down to like -300 recently. So Khamzat is still a 75% favorite to go out there and beat Kamaru Usman in this fight. He is taller. He's not as lengthy as Kamaru. Kamaru is very, very long, especially for his welterweight division. Khamzat Chimaev undefeated, 12-0, more powerful in my opinion than Kamaru Usman. Much faster starter than Kamaru Usman. Bigger, stronger, more explosive, better knees. I'm gonna get that right off the bat. He's got better knees than Kamaru Usman. I do not see Kamaru taking down Khamzat Chimaev, but I see a possibility for a moment or two. He's not going to control and completely dominate Kamaru Usman on the ground, submit Kamaru Usman on the ground, ground and pound TKO Kamaru. But he will get a few takedowns. That's for sure. Khamzat Chimaev is going to get some explosive shots in on Kamaru. Kamaru might defend a few, but he is going to get taken down at least once, maybe twice by Khamzat Chimaev. But for the most part, I'm in the boat of this. It's going to be a striking match. It is going to be a striking match. Colby Covington, Kamaru Usman. It's going to be kind of like that with Khamzat winning round number 1, Kamaru Usman winning round number 3, and it's pretty much going to come down to round number 2. Can Khamzat Chimaev keep on with the gas tank, have enough gas to really pour on the pressure in round number 2, not eat the jab of Kamaru Usman, which is one of the main weapons in a striking match with Kamaru? He's just boom, boom, jab, boom, boom, jab. He's just popping out that jab at any moment in time, and that can really frustrate a guy like Khamzat who's kind of trying to blitz in there. If he's blitzing in every single time he's eating a jab, he's going to be a lot more cautious to blitz in there, so that's going to be a main game plan for Kamaru Usman. But Khamzat, I think he's going to do well in round number 1, land a few takedowns and things like that, land some big shots, maybe hurt Usman, but not finish him, of course. Round number 2, that's where it's going to come down to. Because round 3, I think he's going to fade a little bit, and Usman's really going to outstrike Khamzat. If there's a moment where Kamaru's going to take down Khamzat, it's going to be round number 3 when Chimaev's a little bit more gassed. But I don't think that'll happen, though. Round 2 is where it's going to come down to, and I do believe Khamzat Chimaev is going to pour on the pressure again in round number 2. He's not draining himself to go down to 170, so I think the cardio will be there to land some big shots in round 2 as well. I got this being very, very close. Maybe another split decision. I'm still surprised the Gilbert Burns one was not a split decision, so never mind, not another split decision, but a split decision. I think this is going to be just like the Gilbert Burns fight, very, very close back and forth striking battle with a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of grappling mixed in. Khamzat Chimaev, round 1, round 2, losing round 3. Let's go split decision. I think one of the judges might give Usman round number 2. Very close fight though. What's good? Ace 317 Bert the boss. I definitely got Magomed. Don't parlay. Don't parlay. Is with the leg kicks. Yup. Very tall, very lengthy. Land those leg kicks. Get right back out. Thank you, Email Mail Son. Like the stream. Like the stream indeed. Main event time, baby. Let's get into it. Islam Makhachev. Alexander Volkanovski. Deuce in the lightweight division on short notice. I think this is going to be a little bit more. Not a lot more. Not like completely dominate like 50-45 or anything like that. I'm going to go 49-46 for Islam Makhachev. I believe this fight with Alexander Volkanovski, he's going to have a lot more time to rehydrate. That was a big thing he was talking about. In the last fight with Volkanovski, he had like 12 hours or 16 hours less time to rehydrate than normal in Australia, so he didn't have the gas tank in round number 4, round number 5. Round number 5, we saw Islam fade a little bit, and Volkanovski hurt him on the feet, take him down, ground and pound him, and look really, really good later on in that fight. And I think this one, Islam's going to be a little bit more willing to shoot a lot more takedowns, throw a lot more strikes at Alexander Volkanovski, and make this a better fight than last time against Alexander Volkanovski, because it wasn't like Islam was spamming takedowns on Volkanovski. They were kind of striking at range for a good portion of that fight, where Islam wasn't shooting any of the takedowns. But Volkanovski, that was another thing I was watching in film, was the leg kicks of Islam Makhachev. The leg kicks of Islam Makhachev. Alexander's game plan here, and I know I might go on a ramble on about this for a little bit, but it might be good to hear. The main game plan for Volkanovski here, obviously he's not going to go out there and try to take down Islam, try to wrestle, try to grapple. He's staying away from that. But it's going to come to play at some point in this fight, of course, because he's a smaller fighter. He's 5'6". He does have the reach advantage, surprisingly, but the game plan for Volkanovski is to close distance, get inside, and just throw strikes. Let his hands go. Hopefully some of those lands, hopefully some of them hurt Islam Makhachev. He's just trying to get in the inside without getting taken down and land those big shots. In order for him to get in the inside, he's got to find his range and find an opportunity to get in that inside. I was watching film, and Islam Makhachev, every time Volkanovski would step in with his left foot, step in like that, and get ready to get into one of his blitzes, get in the inside of Islam Makhachev and land a big shot, Islam Makhachev would land an inside leg kick. He would land an inside leg kick to the left leg of Volkanovski, his thigh, or to the calf. A lot of them were to the thigh. A few of them were to the calf. But he'd land those inside leg kicks on Volkanovski when he was coming in, and it would kind of stifle the offense of Alexander Volkanovski. I think that's going to be a main weapon here. They had to have saw it. If I'm seeing it, they had to have saw it. Every time Volkanovski is about to set up a combination, about to get in the inside and blitz in, you got to land those inside leg kicks to Volkanovski, because he's trying to get to the outside, move his head in, and then land his combination. If you just land a leg kick, what is he going to do? He gets hit with a leg kick, and he has to either continue the combination getting hit with a flush calf kick or a flush shot to the thigh, or he gets hit with that shot, and he's like, all right. I'm going to end that one, try to get back in another time. That's going to be a big, big weapon for Islam Makhachev here, and I think he's going to land a lot of leg kicks here. I think this fight is going to be, the main difference is going to be those leg kicks. He's going to be bigger than Volkanovski, of course, but the leg kicks of Islam were underutilized last fight, and I think they should be more utilized this time around with Alexander Volkanovski. And again, of course, there's those moments where Volkanovski blitzes in. Maybe he thinks the leg kick's coming, so he's bracing for it, and maybe that's when Islam uses those leg kicks, fake the leg kick, boom, going for a single leg, going for an outside leg, going for some of those takedowns at range on Volkanovski, get him to the clinch, ground and pound, all that type of stuff. So I don't think this one is going to be as wrestling heavy. I don't think he's going to get the back of Volkanovski as easy as last time, take him down and control him as easy as last time. I mean, it wasn't necessarily easy even last time because Volkanovski was so good on the scrambles and getting out of those situations, but I do believe more of this fight will be spent on the feet, more of the fight will be striking than the last one, and I give the edge to Islam. I give the edge to Islam in terms of striking. He's taller, he's more powerful, he's going to have a lot of time to rehydrate and get big and full, and I think that leg kick's going to play a good factor here. I'm going to go Islam by a decision here. This time, I think he wins one more round than the last one, 49-46. I think one of those rounds, Volkanovski has his moment like he did in round 5, maybe hurts Islam, lands some big shots, but for the other part, I think Islam out-volumes him, mixes in some takedowns when Volkanovski comes in, and it's a close one. It is another very, very close fight, just like that co-main event, just like freaking Tim Elliott, Muhammad Makhachev. Don't parlay that one, but it's a very close one. Predictions down below for you guys. I'm going to go Islam 49-46. Decision Tapology, split, man. But yeah. That is the full card prediction. UFC 294 versus Volkanovski 2. Full card prediction. I got Islam Makhachev by a decision. Let's see what the betting odds are for that one. So he's minus 250 on the betting odds. For a decision when it's 50-50 to go to a decision or for there to be a finish. Where would it be? Where would it be indeed? Makhachev by decision plus 200. That is the prediction. We got Hamza Chimaev by decision. I'm interested on this one. They do believe there will be a finish in this fight. I do have Chimaev decision at plus 275 right there. So you're getting some good plus money on my predictions. I got Magomed Ankalaev by decision, but I think that's a very live finish type of a fight as well. Ankalaev by decision is probably crazy. Plus 250. Interesting. Ikram Aliskerov by knockout. It's probably minus, to be honest. Plus 125, plus 150, not bad. Muhammad Makhachev by a decision. Plus 115. But yeah, that's what I'm going to end this video on. Do not parlay. Let's see. I mean, who would you parlay? Don't parlay Nathaniel Wood. Minus 310 is a little bit crazy in my opinion. Don't parlay Javid. That's insane. Minus 625 is craziness. Do not parlay Tim Elliott. I mean, I don't even think he should be more than minus 200. If we're being honest. Ikram Aliskerov seems safe in my opinion unless he freaking walks into a guillotine. We know Warley has that nasty guillotine. Magomed Ankalaev, don't parlay him. Chimaev, don't parlay him. Islam, don't parlay him. There's a lot of guys you should not parlay on this freaking card. But put your predictions down below. Thanks for watching. Yeah, we're going to end it there. I'm just going to make it a UFC 294 full card prediction live stream. We change it, brother. We change these, brother. I don't know, brother. You tell me, brother. I don't know about these, brother. Full card prediction in the UFC's middleweight division. Hamza Chimaev versus Alright, thank you guys for watching. That is it for the live stream. We're just gonna do that full card prediction because yeah, if you want to see the MMA news, I forgot that was on there, my bad. But if you want to see all the MMA news, it's all on my Instagram. I post a bunch of stuff on my Instagram. We got some injury updates on Paulo Costa, first Indian woman in the UFC, ranking updates, some call outs and things like that. So make sure to go follow the Instagram for everything to do with MMA news. The MMA news, brother. But that is what I got for you guys today.